You're listening to Cinematic Adventures, proud member of the Misfit Faction Media Network.
Good morning, Vietnam!
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Badges? We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
You make me want to be a better man.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
He's looking at you, kid.
I've always depended on the kindness of strangers.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Would you be shocked if I put on something more comfortable?
You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cinematic Adventures. Don't forget, if you guys are taking us on the go, you can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and basically anywhere you get your podcasts. As always, I'm Paul. With me in the studio is Sean. Sean, how are you today?
I am good. We set up a couple of stunts down here in your basement, so hopefully Melanie won't notice.
That's fine, because in all honesty, they all involve getting hit in the junk. And you are up first, and I'm going to describe in visceral detail how each one goes, because we're not a video podcast.
That's very true.
Oh, man, the horror.
Ugh.
As far as opening bits go, it wasn't our worst.
No,
but anyway.
Could have been better.
It could have been better. Unlike Jackass 4, and we will talk about that.
We will?
That's what we're talking about today. We are talking about Jackass Forever, I believe is the actual title, but for the layman, it's Jackass 4. And we just literally sat through this movie last night.
Yes, we did.
We were two of three people.
People in the entire theater.
And what's even funnier is the third person that was there sat all the way at the back, underneath the projector, dead center. Very interesting guy. We didn't get his name, his number, but he was probably annoyed with us because...
we were cracking the fuck up.
Well, language, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This isn't Misfit. This isn't MF Uncensored. God. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one because there's a lot of things to discuss in this one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of things. But
Paul
anyway.
loved every single minute of it.
There were several times where you and I made awkward eye contact because it was better than looking at what was happening on the screen in all of its glory.
Well, it really wasn't awkward contact. It was more you were just reacting to it, and I was just reacting to your reaction.
I call shenanigans on that because there were plenty of times where I caught your eye looking at me, and then I looked at you, and then you looked at me, and I looked at you.
Is that what that happened?
I don't know. But before we get started, we do just a little bit of house cleaning for you guys. Just make sure, if you guys have not seen it already, our brand new merchandise store is currently live on the misfitfaction.com. Just go to that website, and you can find it under Misfit Store. We have 2 shirts for Cinematic Adventures, because MF Uncensored and Multiverse Fancast be lacking over there.
We need, you know what? I got a good idea for a new shirt.
Okay, hit me.
The search for more money.
The search for more money. That actually should be.
Merchandise. The search for more money.
I think we should get a merchandising t-shirt. Or even just go Spaceballs fully and just be like Cinematic Adventures, the t-shirt. I actually am okay with that. Yeah.
How did we not think of this already?
Because I did all the thinking and you know.
I just sit here and look pretty.
That's fair.
I'm okay with that.
I know you are. I mean, you're wearing a hat. We're inside. No big deal. I love it. But anyway, so make sure you guys check that out. Also, if you guys are looking to start your own podcast, or you have a podcast and you want to, involve yourself with a mildly good network, ?
Depends on who you ask.
Me?
No, that's what I said. Okay. Depends on who you ask.
So the Misfit Faction is always looking for brand new shows to add on to our podcasting network. If you guys are looking to start your own show, though, and you want a little bit of help getting started, if you go to podbean.com/misfitfaction, you'll get a free month of podcasting on us. That is our gift to you guys as a thank you for all of our loyal listeners over the years. You can also, if you have your own personal business or an online service that you perform, and you're looking to advertise it not only on our podcast, but also pretty much anywhere. Podcasts, there's trillions of them. So if you're looking to put yourself out there and put your brand or your product out there, if you go to sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction, you'll get $100 worth of free advertising on us. Again, that's our gift to you. So that's sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction or podbean.com/misfitfaction. So that is our house cleaning, Sean. Are you ready to talk about this?
It's not that clean, but okay.
I do a very good job. We redid the studio a little bit.
A little
bit.
Took forever, but...
Everybody's a critic. Wow. I'm going to have to post pictures of the studio. I found the original pictures of the studio from when we first moved it in here. when we had the desk against the wall over there.
Oh.
Yeah, it was jarring. We all sat next to each other.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Remember
Yep.
that.
I still have that desk, but anyway. So let's start off very simply. Sean, tell me a little bit about your history with Jackass. And don't you dare make a joke about being friends with me.
Well, now you said it.
Nope, I already said it. Now it's not funny if you say it.
No, well, that's why I said. Now that you said it, I can't say it. You're always stealing my jokes, man.
I have 7.
Been dealing with this for 20 years.
Easy
Just
now.
not fast enough with telling the jokes.
Easy now.
But I don't really have much of a history with Jackass. I didn't watch the show when it was on. Honestly, was I allowed to watch the show? I probably would have been. I honestly had no interest. I just, that type of, when I was younger, that type of humor just I didn't really get into it.
Right.
The whole stunts and all that stuff. I really didn't do it for me. So the first movie came out in 2003. I remember having no interest in seeing it, never saw it. And it wasn't until the second one came out, which was 2006, I believe. I was working at the video store, and that was, at the time when we were going to movies like every other day, it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, oh, hey, Jackass came out. I'm like, all right, you know what? What's the worst thing we can see, tonight? And we went and saw it, and I thought it was hysterical. And from that point on, I saw the second one, I saw the third one, and I saw this one. But I've never went back and watched the show. Like, I still have no interest in going back and watching the show just because,
Yeah, so I'm a similar vein. I was not allowed to watch the show. MTV was surprisingly taboo and banned in my house as a child. Like, we were not allowed to watch MTV at all.
Couldn't watch that music, man.
Which is even funnier because MTV's way more inappropriate now.
Oh.
Like, they don't even show fun music videos anymore. Like, I don't even know if they show music at all.
I was about to say, I don't think they've shown music for like at least 20 years
I know
now,
they tried to bring TRL back, the Total Request Live show. They brought that back for like a hot minute. And I think like...
There was a retro MTV channel for a little while, but I even think that doesn't show music anymore.
Right. And I mean, MTV is a lot of reality-based shows, and it's also a lot of dramatic shows and stuff like that. Like, things that just don't interest us.
Saved by the Bell is on MTV now.
Yeah, they got a lot of
like the
reruns and stuff like that.
The teen, dramas from the 90s and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So I never watched the show growing up. It very much in the same vein as South Park, where I saw the movie before I ever saw any of the show. So I know we did we do a South Park bigger, longer, and uncut
I
episode?
actually don't think we've done South Park yet.
I think we're waiting for that TV to movie month that I keep talking about, or movie to TV.
Oh, we did TV to movie, but we haven't done movie to TV yet.
Yeah, we got a lot of choices.
But that doesn't fall under movie to TV.
It's just where my brain is going, so
That's
please
fair.
just enjoy the ride, as it were.
It's like a double loop roller coaster, man. I don't know where it's going.
Nobody knows. Forward usually. But for me, like...
Why are we going backwards?
Dang it. So for me, I never watched the show, and I still have not seen the first movie.
I've seen it in bits. I honestly don't remember anything much about it.
But I remember going to see the second movie, which is funny because I am a completely down the middle fan of the movies in terms of I can watch any Jackass movie. Mm-hmm. But when it comes time for the gross out stuff, I will be the first one to be like, I don't need to look at this.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
There are certain stunts, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite stunts. We're going to talk about this current movie and also some of the past things. But there are some stunts that you will never pay me to watch ever again. And the fact that I paid the cast of Jackass $8 at the time to go see their movie.
Back when $8.
Actually, we went at 3 o'clock yesterday on a Wednesday. Surprising, nobody was there. 3 o'clock.
30% off tickets. That's what they're doing now for the first showing of the day.
Yeah, so it was like $9 a ticket, I think. It wasn't bad
What is
at all.
it? 2007?
I know, right? And as we're sitting to watch Jackass. And even funnier, in this new movie, mild spoilers, they have a whole discussion about Cobra Kai in it.
That's right.
And I'm sitting there laughing because, I love Cobra Kai, and Sean, I think you started watching it.
Yeah, I watched the first 3 seasons. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
For a second.
And eventually we'll talk about it on the show.
Eventually.
Just like we'll talk about, I think we're going to talk about Stranger Things because that's coming out soon too.
Better.
Yeah. But so for me, like, it was so weird seeing this movie where every scene you're waiting for something gross. And there are some telltale signs that a gross thing's coming. Usually it's when they're in some sort of model, like it's like a smaller type thing, like the gym but this movie, surprisingly, the gross out humor was much less.
Yeah, they didn't go extremely over the top in this one, I felt, which I was okay with. I mean, maybe they're all of a certain age where they're just like, but still, the stuff they did, I was just like, how not one of them died of a heart attack? Oh, I won't know.
It's crazy. Pure cocaine.
I love the opening scene. I thought was hysterical of this new one.
All right, so yeah, we'll
that one was good.
We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna break down this movie and some of our favorite Jackass stunts of all time. But first, a quick break. Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you by Raze Energy Drinks. Raze is a proud member of Rep Sports, and if you guys are looking for a little extra kick during your day, whether you need to tackle a workout or you need to get over that afternoon slump, you can always check out Raze Energy, and if you get to checkout and you enter the code CINEMATIC, not only will you be getting a 15% discount, but you'll also be supporting the network. So that's Raze Energy with Rep Sports. Code is CINEMATIC, CINEMATIC. And welcome back, everyone. It is the moment that, well, I mean, people asked us about mildly. Nobody was really waiting for this moment. But we are here to talk about the actual film, Jackass Forever. Sean?
Forever.
Initial thoughts on Jackass Forever.
Enjoyable. I thought it was, going into it, I was kind of, wondering, all right, it's been 10 years since the last movie. They're all
weathered,
mid 40s, some are even into their 50s. I was kind of wondering what they were going to do, but I have to say they did not disappoint. They did not disappoint. But overall, I thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah, this movie,
I would have preferred to see it with more people, because
like group of people.
A full theater.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than a full theater laughing.
Oh, and even better, a full theater of people trying not to throw up.
Well, that's it.
Granted, we mentioned it. The gross out stuff was much more mild than it had been in years past.
Yeah.
There is a lot of male frontal nudity. Mm-hmm. We saw it on a big screen, and it was a lot of wiener.
Good for Steve-O.
Good for all of them, in all honesty. And I think
Steve-O's the only one you really see.
No, you see one of the other guys too. He does the ping pong thing.
That's right.
Yeah, you see it, and then one of the guys, I forget who it is. He even mentions, he's like, I was really worried about it because I have the smallest one. Like, it's funny. Like, they make a lot of fun of it. But in all honesty, we really enjoyed. We just laughed.
I think that's the most frontal male nudity I've seen since Eurotrip.
Yeah. Well, there was the whole scene of all the old men too. Oh man, a lot of wieners. But it's funny, like, being older now and just having either stronger stomachs or just we've seen it all at this point. It feels like none of that's when you're young. You're like, oh God, I can't look. But like, it's all fun and it's all hilarious. But so let's go through the cast. We have returning Jackass members, Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, who looks good, all things considering. I know he went through a lot of stuff. Wee Man, good for Wee Man. Yeah, especially one scene where everybody's like, oh wow, good for you. Chris Pontius, Dave England, Danger Aaron, Preston Lacey, Sean Poopies McCleary.
He's new.
Oh yeah, these are the new ones.
Yeah,
Sean Poopies McKierney, Zach Holmes, Jasper Dolphin, Rachel Wolfson, and Eric Manaka. So
you could tell that the newbies were doing a little more of the crazier stuff.
Any of them stand out to you though?
No, I don't think any of them really blew me away in terms of, personality that I'm like, oh, I want to see more of them.
Right.
Also not fair because, again, you're most likely we're never going to see another Jackass movie.
Which is weird that they brought in brand new cast members for it.
They probably looked at each other and said, are we really going to do all these stunts? Let's get some new blood in here and maybe it'll be a little better. I'm more curious if all of them were involved when Bam was still involved. I don't know.
So let's talk about that really quick. Bam Margera was supposed to be in this film. He started filming. He was part of the cast, and he was removed. Now, it's no secret that a lot of these Jackass guys have had a lot of trouble with substance abuse. They even... they make mention, they do in memoriam for the who's the one that passed?
Ryan Dunn.
That's one.
Yeah.
And Steve-O's been in and out of rehab several times.
He's been clean though for a while.
For a long time.
I think he's been clean since at least before the last movie.
He was surprisingly funny on the roast that he did. I think it was the roast of Charlie Sheen. And I forget, I think it was Amy Schumer who made a joke about...
No, it wasn't Amy Schumer. It was someone else.
Nikki Glass?
No, it was another. I can't remember her name, but I know what you're talking about.
And it was like a very off-color joke.
And which most of the jokes are in the roast, but that one just seemed a little...
Well, for those of you guys who don't know, and I know this isn't a show about roast, but most of those roasts, there's an approved list of topics that can be...
Yeah.
Like, for the most part, they have free reign, but there are plenty of times that there are certain celebrities that'll be like, you can't mention this, or this. Okay, cool. But for the most part, it is pretty free reign. But I remember it's very rare that at a roast you see the entire audience just kind of not laugh.
Oh yeah.
Because she makes the joke about Ryan Dunn, and like Steve-O takes it in stride. Like he's like, okay, this is where we're gonna go. But he was surprisingly funny. I enjoy Steve-O. But I forget what we were talking about. The new people and all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, nobody really stands out. And we were talking about Bam Margera. But Bam Margera was in the cast, like we said, but he was removed during production because he could not maintain his sobriety. Afterwards, he then did what everybody who thinks their opinion is very important does. He went on social media, which is the dumbest thing he could have done. Because unfortunately, social media, once you put it there, it's there forever. And it does not paint him in a good light. Because now he's suing the studio and everybody involved, including Johnny Knoxville. And I guess supposedly Johnny Knoxville is the one that pushed to get him still credited in the film and still have he films one scene, and it's the marching band treadmill. We didn't even notice he was in there.
No.
And which is funny because I like Bam. I'm a big Bam fan. But I feel like they tried to replace him with, I think it's Jasper is the guy's name. And
That's
he brought,
the thing. I don't
brought
know.
his dad.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I mean, I don't know if those people were added after the fact or were they part of the cast even while Bam was really still going to be involved.
Because you could tell that this movie they filmed this movie for a while.
Well, the movie's been filmed since before the pandemic. I mean, they were filming during the pandemic because there are scenes where they're wearing masks, where they're not wearing masks, depending on where they are.
You also see Knoxville's hair change a lot in this.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't mind him with the gray hair. And that opening scene with the gray hair, I was just like, all right,
good for him.
Good for you, man.
All right, so let's stop talking about that.
Stop talking about that.
About Bam and all that, because unfortunately,
why'd you bring it up?
Well, because it's a very, very in-depth show. Some of the guest appearances, because half the fun of Jackass is getting guest appearances. It's kind of like what was the show with Ashton Kutcher? Punk'd.
Never watched that either.
Yeah, that's another one that they made fun of a lot in the early 2000s.
Where's Ashton? Am I being punked?
Yeah, oh God, there were a lot of movies where you would maybe it's Ashton Kolchak telling we've been punked or whatever. That's still the best one. So some of the notable guest appearances, I'm going to go through this list. Some of these people I have no clue who they are. Dark Shark Wilson, who's one of the characters' dads, who is really gangbanger, scared of the spiders.
Yeah.
Please don't hurt me. Nick Merlino, David Gravett, Aaron Jaws Hamoki, Jules Sylvester, Scott Hanley, Gary LeFew, really? Rob Dyrdek, I know him. Eric Andre, I know him. Francis Ngannou, I hope he's not listening. Danielle O'Toole, PK Subban.
Subban.
Thank you. I was fixing myself.
No, you weren't, but okay.
Tori Bellici, Stupid Machine Gun Kelly, Tyler the Creator. I just don't like him. I'm sorry. Brandon Leffler, Michael Rooney, Parks Bonifay, and then we had
Parks Bonifay,
and then we had Jeff Tremaine, obviously as the director, writer, and all that stuff.
So they really didn't get any big star. Tony Hawk makes an appearance.
Tony Hawk does, but they don't even mention it. Like I think, let's see, I'm just reading through it really quick, but no. Yeah, no. The problem is they were filming during COVID. Oh, there's Tony Hawk. Yep,
there he is.
Yep, Travis Taco Bennett, Sid the Kid, and Tony Hawk. Yeah, DJ Paul, a bunch of other people. Yeah. These are just in the opening sequence.
Yes.
Yeah. But the problem is you are running during COVID and you are limited in what you can do, especially when you're filming all over the place because they film. I don't even know where they actually film Jackass, probably somewhere in LA.
California, probably Nevada,
Anywhere they have plenty of space to explode. Anywhere they have plenty of places to explode things. So we're going to go through some of the stunts from this movie and then some of our favorite Jackass stunts of all time. We got some good ones. So the opening scene, Sean, tell us about the opening, because you dug this opening scene.
The opening scene, because we're in the theater and the camera's like panning and it's a city, but you can immediately tell like
it's a model.
It's a model, and I'm like, okay, where are they going to go with this? But then you see Knoxville as a general, and all of a sudden you hear like a monster, like a Godzilla type, and it's going by the window, and I'm like, okay, it's a puppet, but there's something more to this. And then they're cutting back and forth between the fake story going on of a monster attacking this city, and Chris Pontius, who is the monster, but it's his dick and balls. And he's literally, it's like going along.
We're keeping it very classy here today.
Sorry, guys. I really don't know how to, family this up for you, okay? The episode's called Jackass, so
genitalia.
Don't watch if you don't want to hear. Don't listen if you don't want to hear about it. But they end up doing all these different stunts throughout the scene. So, like, I know, like, Wee Man and Dave are on the top of like a movie marquee, and it like blows up and
behind them, and they go flying.
Aaron gets literally like tackled by a football player, which was hysterical. I don't remember what happened to Steve-O. Was he in a porta potty?
Yep, they redid the porta potty.
They redid the porta potty thing, and he.
Ironically, it did not gross me out as much this time
because you didn't see it.
It wasn't as bad.
It wasn't as in your face, and then not the monster basically explodes all over everybody. Mm-hmm. So like all this stuff is just flying all over the place. And it's just over the top, but it was actually really funny. I thought it was it reminded me of the ending to 2 with the music number.
The musical number is fantastic.
And just everybody was doing different stunts and stuff. It kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Not as good, but in that vein. So I enjoyed the opening scene.
Can you not say vein right now?
Vein? Sorry. No. You don't like veins?
But it does end with the monster being defeated by an actual snapping turtle.
That's right. The snapping turtle.
All right, so here are some of the other stunts that we have, but that's how the movie opens, and it sets the tone because, you know, there was a fear of us going in there that thinking like, can these guys really still do this? Like,
they can, and they did.
Yeah, like major kudos to all of them. So, imagine what the insurance costs are for these guys.
God.
Oh, the premiums must be crazy. So, I'm just going in no particular order. This isn't the actual order of the movie, but we have Johnny Knoxville facing a bull during the magic trick and getting knocked clean out.
Knocked out. He ended up going to the hospital. I think he broke his wrist.
Concussion, broken wrist, and broken ribs.
Broken ribs. I mean, you've seen him get hit by a bull in previous movies, but this one was just
rough.
Brutal.
Yeah. Let's see. Steve-O having his penis used as a beehive. That was terrifying. Terrifying.
They copied Family Guy there. We're sitting in the theater, and I'm just like, are they going to do the Family Guy thing here, where it's like to put the bees on them? And they did.
And no disrespect to Quagmire, but Steve-O's was way more impressive. That beehive got quite large, if you know what I mean.
At least this one wasn't in 3D.
Oh, thank God. A vulture eating pieces of meat off Wee Man's body.
That one was.
That was okay.
That was okay, but that was a little.
Now here's the one that I think you and I laughed at, cringed at, and cried at the most: the multiple cup tests.
Oh,
so
Aaron
was in charge of. I guess they were reenacting. They did a lot of reenactments of old stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the TV show stunts got reenacted in this one.
Because I think they also realized that their audience is aged with them, so. Half their audience probably watched the show as a kid and remembers it. But then the other half probably never, like us, never watched the show once.
I'm trying to think. So like we were 14 when the show started. 13, 14 when the show started.
Peak age for it too.
So you would think that the true fan base of Jackass is older than us, probably like a couple years older than us, that really thoroughly enjoyed that show. So yeah, you're speaking to probably 30s, early 40s.
Something like
group
that.
That really grew up with this show and grew up with the first 3 movies. So, I get what you're saying, but I still feel like they did a good job with picking the stunts and not going too crazy.
So the cup test, though, is the one we laughed at the most. So basically, Danger Aaron, right?
They call him I've never heard him called that before, but in this movie they called him Danger Aaron. I don't know.
So he had like 4 different tests with how strong a cup is. The first is he gets punched right by a heavyweight champion of the world, one of the strongest.
He's going to be a lightweight, but no, we got him a heavyweight. That's not a lightweight.
It's fantastic. Oh my God. Like, because he doesn't even react. His entire face just goes neutral and just drops because, like, this guy, woof. They're like reading.
He falls off the chair.
They're like reading stats about how strong this punch can be, and the guy, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. He just speaks with an accent. He goes, "Maybe you not tell him that right now."
Yeah.
And they all start laughing, but oh my God, he gets rocked. And then he gets
the softball.
The softball.
The fastest pitcher in college softball.
Something like that.
And she throws
like 4 or 5 times.
Well, she misses him a couple times, but she hits him in the thigh.
Well, the first time he moves.
Well, he does move, yeah.
I would too. Then he
he stands there.
He keeps getting hit in the thigh.
In the same spot, too. And you see it later in the movie. You see
the welt.
The welt on his leg. And finally, she hits him. Oh, The hockey one, though, was the worst.
The hockey one was the worst.
Because he hit him dead center.
Which is weird because the hockey player, I don't remember his name off the top
PK
of my-
Subban.
Thank you. He, like, actively hated Danger
Oh, he was,
Aaron.
like, playing him, too.
Yeah,
He was like,
oh, yeah.
you're going to die.
You're going to die today. So the first one, I think he hits him in the head on purpose.
I think so.
And then the second one, it's like pinpoint accuracy,
Oh.
just dead center.
I think what made us laugh the most was because he comes out onto the ice rink and he's got protection on.
Yeah.
But you see the cup. So I'm like, okay, they cut it out just so the cup was visible.
No, he's wearing assless pants.
So when he gets hit and falls to the ground and he turns around, you see his ass, and we both lost it because I don't think we expected it.
Yeah.
I thought I'm still laughing at it. I thought it was hysterical. And then
So-
the last one, oh,
The last one was the
was
roughest.
Dave on a pogo stick, and he literally takes a pogo stick full force.
Now the problem with that one, and this one actually resulted in injury to him. We won't get graphically in detail about it, but something ruptured.
Oh yeah.
And because if anybody's ever been on a pogo stick, they are not very accurate.
No, not
So
at all.
he kind of misses it and he, like, causes actual damage to this poor guy. Like, oh god. Anyway, so let's see. Moving down, we have Dave England being showered in a certain animal excrement.
Oh yeah, that was.
We're not going to say what it was.
He took it in stride though.
It was a pig, but yeah.
I'm a vegetarian.
Now, let's see. Chris Pontius using his his penis. We're gonna say penis a lot on this as a paddle for paddleball.
That.
Preston Lacey's testicles being used as a human punching bag.
Oh, I felt bad for him. That one was.
They did it twice too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Now some of the newer people. We have Poopsies fighting off a Texas rat snake. That was great though. Is it poisonous? No. Hey. Let's see. Rachel Wolfson having a scorpion sting her on the lips.
Yeah.
That was tough. She wasn't in it that much.
No, she didn't do as much. She did. That one was big, and then she did the licking of the
taser.
The taser
During the mime challenge, which was really funny. Zach Holmes gliding down into a bed of cactuses.
Oh.
Yeah, that one looked painful. Eric Manaka riding a bicycle at full speed into a false wall.
That one I remember.
Jasper Dolphin being shot off a ramp by large industrial fans while holding a parachute.
Yep.
That was a good one.
one
Now,
was
some
good.
of the ones that are not mentioned on this list, that just from memory, so bear with us. We mentioned the marching band treadmill.
Marching band treadmill. So basically, like treadmill's going gotta be, I mean, the fastest it can go.
Yeah, it's
and
huge,
They
too.
stand on it and
Yeah.
and they fly, and they all get beat.
Yeah, I
like
think-
Knoxville's bleeding off his head.
Steve-O has to go to the hospital.
Steve had to go to the hospital.
Of all the things.
I was like, oh, because they go into a wall. I mean, it's not open space that they're flying into. They're flying into a wall. So, Silence of the Lambs. We got to talk about the
Silence of the Lambs, and we'll talk about the bear after. Silence of the Lambs was
hysterical.
but it's also one of my greatest fears.
Oh, it's terrifying. If that happened to me, I'd be terrified.
So,
but it was hysterical to watch.
So before we even like set up Silence of the Lambs, what actually it was, let's talk about if you're. I would kill to go to a live movie set, like actually be there while the movie's being filmed and watching this practice. You know, like you and I would lose our minds because that would be really cool. You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to go spend a day on the Jackass set. It is the most terrifying, anxiety-filled day of your entire life.
Yeah.
Like these
Well, they wouldn't do anything to you if you weren't like involved with them.
No, I feel like if I had to, if for all the money in the world, I feel like I would have to sign some sort of waiver.
Oh yeah.
And then it would be like, well, game on.
pretty
Have
much.
fun. Have fun in the porta potty that explodes. That's what happens when they were talking about Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And they even mentioned, they're like, why would you be on the Jackass set and actually trust the porta potties? Oh man, I can't even use a bathroom that's not mine, man. I'm not. Yeah, no. But so the Silence of the Lambs is they're telling people that I think Steve
They're setting it up that there's a rattlesnake in a bucket, and I can't remember exactly what they intended them to
basically
do.
they made it seem like they were just going to watch a stunt with
Watch a
Knoxville
stunt.
and the snake.
Yes. So what they intended them to do is we're going to bring groups of two into different rooms, and then we're going to lock them in and turn out the lights. And Knoxville has X-ray goggles, so we're seeing it.
Night vision
goggles. So we're seeing it through his point of view.
And during this, they also switch out the snake.
They do.
So they have a bucket in there, and they have sound effects
There's
queued
sound
up.
effects.
So basically, it goes pitch black, and they drop the bucket.
They do, but everybody, I mean, like, depending on who you're, like, who was it? It was Aaron and Dave were the funniest because Dave won't leave the couch. Aaron is like trying to get out of the room, and Dave's like freaking out on the couch. And Aaron's like, "What do you want me to do, Dave? I can't help you." Like, but the best was, and I don't know why this made me laugh, was I think it was the first scene after the lights go out is Pontius reenacting the Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, he's in the background. Just he doesn't even do anything. He's
He
just in
doesn't
the
do
background.
anything. He's just standing there, and I'm laughing. That made me crack up.
So
that was great.
In this room, though, they finally open one of the doors, and it leads to like all these pots and pans hanging, and tasers on the floor, and mouse traps and everything, and marbles.
God. What's his name? The big guy, the new big guy, Zach.
Zach, yeah.
He like goes like he's falling on the mouse traps. They're snapping all over his body, and
it's painful. It is painful.
That I think that was my favorite skit. My favorite. I wouldn't even call it a stunt. It was just more of a skit to me.
Yeah.
That one, because they weren't intending to do anything, but it was just hilarious.
So now let's also talk about one of the ones that, like, so part of Jackass is seeing the cast members actually react to these things and losing, like getting scared. Some of these are actually scary. And this one gave me anxiety, even though I knew nothing was going to happen. Mm-hmm. It gave me anxiety just because, like, the circumstances. So they tied
Aaron.
They tied Aaron to.
They were doing a lie detector test
with shocks.
And he was tied down. I mean, he couldn't get out. And they poured, and all of a sudden they pour honey all over him, and you're like, oh no, what are they going to do to him? And then they put salmon,
like
on
right
him,
in his crotch,
like pieces of salmon, and
Knoxville walks out.
All of a sudden, there's not a cub, a giant ass bear comes out. And the look on Aaron's face is just like, I'm going to die. Mm-hmm. And the bear immediately goes up to him and just starts eating the salmon. And I didn't notice it, but he kind of looked like he was going to bite his hand. And that's when Aaron was like, yo, he's going to bite.
So the bear trainer actually is like, I got to get in there.
Yeah, the bear trainer, you actually see the bear trainer go like, yeah, we got to get in there. And he gets the bear away, but...
Well, so I remember that scene from the trailer. Mm-hmm. That was like one of the first scenes.
I don't remember that from the trailer.
Yeah. But you see the bear has a chain around his neck, so you just think he's just going to get close. But no, they let this bear literally off the chain to come in there. And it's a trained bear, as trained as bears could be.
Yeah, but when you tease it with honey and food, it's,
Are you talking about me or the bear?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm hungry. Weird. But no, not really.
Okay.
I like salmon, though. I do like salmon.
How do you like it cooked?
Usually on the grill. But for me, like that one, I was like, man, that's like terrifying. We also got a couple of the old grandpa stuff.
That one was funny.
In the furniture store?
The furniture store, because I didn't expect that. I expected more just screwing with the people.
Yeah.
Because usually that's what the bad grandpa stuff is like just screwing with the general public who have no idea what's going on. But that one was more like an actual stunt, and I was like,
which is funny because they would have had to arrange that beforehand.
I'm sure the person who ran the store knew about it. Like,
can you imagine if somebody like came to your store or wherever you worked and they're like, hey, we're from Jackass. First of all, I'd be like, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Second of all, like, we want to do a stunt here. I'd be like, yes.
Be like, first of all, am I the one to be able to give you permission for that? Hopefully, but we'll see.
It would be the coolest thing ever. Like,
oh, absolutely.
It'd be an honor.
I was actually surprised that with the bad grandpa stuff, it was more of a stunt than it was just screwing with.
Yeah, usually.
It's like in the second one, it's
him with the kid,
giving the kid the beer and just watching
smoking
people's reactions.
Cigarettes, yeah. And then him with the hot chick that he was making out with.
Didn't they do one where they left a baby on the car seat on top of a car?
Something like that.
I can't remember if that was a movie or that was the show.
I don't remember.
But I remember that one.
I always loved I'm going to talk about the devil getting shot out of the ground.
That one was fun.
And he lands rough.
That one was funny.
So,
that was 2. I remember that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite stunts, but obviously first and foremost, a Star City rating for
I give it a 3.5.
I think I'm with you.
I was like I said, I was thoroughly enjoyed by this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You go into these movies just if you expect something from these movies, you're in for a defeat.
I'll tell you this, maybe just because I just saw it, literally not even 24 hours ago, but I thought it was better than the third one.
Actually, bold strategy, Cotton.
I thought it was better than the third one.
Really?
There's honestly not a lot in the third one I remember that like stands out to me.
I think also the problem was it was during the big 3D craze. I'm so glad that's over.
I don't even remember what the 3D things were in that movie, honestly.
There was a dildo that flies at you. I remember that one.
I love how you remember that.
I just saw it recently. Don't worry about it.
You just saw a dildo recently?
Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm going to have to put a disclaimer on this episode of woof. But
Woof.
anyway, yeah. So I'm going to go 3.5 also, like I said, because these movies, you know exactly what you're getting. Like, this is what we were here to see.
Yeah. I mean, again, I as I said, I don't remember the show. Like, what were they able to get away with on the show in terms of the gross out humor? Probably not as much.
Probably not as much.
It was more probably stunts.
Which I love stunts. I love physical
I love
comedy.
the stunts.
Love
the
physical
stunts are
comedy.
always the best part. It's like Fear Factor.
Yeah.
The stunts were the best part of Fear Factor. It was the eating of the bugs. I was just like, I don't need to see that.
Yeah.
But I mean, what? So before we get into our favorite stunts from the previous movies, what is one that you can't watch? Like you just
I can't watch the fart helmet one. We talked about.
Far Helmet one is a tough one.
And the original Steve-O porta potty one. I think just because I didn't think that thing was full. I thought they literally just put him in a porta potty and an empty porta potty.
No.
But he comes out in blue and brown.
Oh, he does.
Yeah,
he
so-
does.
And what gets me is always the other people's reactions, because once they start hacking,
Yeah.
we didn't even talk about the last scene. The very last scene, they're put on a tilt-a-whirl type thing, like a spinning,
that's
like one of those
right.
spinning things, and they're in the middle of the desert. And for some reason, I love the slow motion in this movie. I think it's always very funny. So it's like 5 of them, and hold on,
It's Steve-O and then all the newbies.
it's the Vomitron featuring Zach, Dave, Eric Poopsies, and Steve-O
Oh,
and,
Dave.
and Jasper.
Yeah, so
They're
it's Dave-
drinking milk while strapped to a high-speed carousel.
Yeah, the goal is to try and chug the milk while it's spitting and not vomit.
Yeah, so, yeah, gross.
But
So what happens is they all end up Johnny Knoxville comes in with like 100 people who all have paintball guns, and they just start rocking
and
these
there's
guys.
also like tanks. They were blowing stuff up around.
Wee
the
Man
thing,
has
too.
like a little tank that's shooting like giant, like thick balls at people,
Yeah.
and there's explosions going off. It's very funny. And then, of course, after assuming that the stunt's over, one big explosion is set off, surprising all the victims, because man, they were like welts, like just bad.
Oh, we missed the Knoxville flying with the
The
wings.
Icarus one,
The
yeah.
Icarus. That one was good.
That one was in the trailers
That
too.
one was good.
And man, when he landed, it sounded painful.
Oh yeah, but he actually went in like feet first, so that's why I was kind of surprised it sounded so bad. But
Then again, we don't know what kind of sound effects they add to
I'm
these things
sure,
in
yeah,
post.
but
This movie did relatively well on a budget of $10 million. It made 61 so far. Like, it just came out
it's
too,
already
maybe 2 weeks ago.
It's crushed its budget. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think any Jackass movie didn't make tons of money.
Jackass is super smart though, because they have a very low budget,
Oh, yeah,
because it's these guys just doing this
Oh, yeah,
on their
I
own.
can't imagine their salaries are that crazy.
I'd say Knoxville probably gets paid the most.
Yeah,
I'd say maybe $2-3 million for
because
this.
he's also a producer.
Yeah, so he probably makes the most, and I'm sure he makes something off the gross. He'd be smart if he did. And Johnny Knoxville's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
But
I like Knoxville. I have to say. I mean, I that little streak of him being in movies back in the mid 2000s. I enjoyed a lot of his stuff.
oh, absolutely. And we always talk about
Dukes of Hazzard,
Dukes of Hazzard. We love
The Ringer.
The Ringer. Oh God.
Um,
That movie actually has a very loyal following, The Ringer.
Really?
And it got a lot of praise from some of the groups that they tried to represent in there, because they were like, you actually made us seem like, we're athletes and stuff like that. Like, you got a lot of positive stuff for that. But everybody always sees the silliest.
I didn't see the Action Park one.
I didn't either. I heard it was okay.
Yeah, but it was basically just a movie version of Jackass with a story.
Right. I mean, that's really all it was. So here's top 20 Jackass movie stunts. We're just going to go through them. We'll talk a little bit about them, and then, we'll end the episode. Not a long one today, just because we also have to get ready. Because for those of you guys who don't know, this coming weekend, we're actually recording early, because this coming weekend is Ronnie's bachelor party.
Is that what that is?
Well, by the time they hear this episode on Monday, it would have just passed, and we're probably miserable.
We're always miserable.
I was about to say more so than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so number 20, we have the Lamborghini tooth pull from Jackass 3D. Oh, God.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, I do. Yeah, they literally they shoot, they use a Lamborghini to pull the tooth out. Number 19, we have Bad Grandpa from Jackass number 2. Obviously,
Yeah,
this
which
is
is what
the first showing of Irvin Kissman as Jack, by Johnny Knoxville. He's just fun. He's hilarious. It's amazing that people still fall for it.
I know. That's the thing. Which I find hard to believe.
But you know what? We also said that about Borat. And people fell for it a second time.
That's true.
And Borat hit cultural levels well past Mr. Irvin over here. So, but it's always funny, and it's always funny watching the physical stunts with him because everybody's like, "Oh my God, that old guy!" Going down the list, we have the Red Rocket again.
That one was a good one. Now I remember there was not a blooper, I wouldn't call it, but the one it didn't work the first time, and it like almost exploded with Knoxville on it. Oh, it was good.
Beehive tetherball from Jackass 3D. So basically, it is exactly what it sounds like. They took a tetherball setup and they tied a beehive to it. And oh my God, it's Dave England and Steve-O. Oh, that's terrifying. So England eventually leaves, but Steve-O finishes the game. He has gotten so many bee stings. Like, it's a big one for him, especially in this last movie. Oh. Running of the Bulls. I think this one's hilarious.
Oh, it's hilarious because it's the opening scene. It's all done like in slow motion. It's clearly a movie set, which is even funnier. Like you know, like all these houses, it's probably like a set on a studio lot somewhere, because the damage that they do is probably
absolutely
crazy.
Oh, it's even funnier, and I'll always laugh at it. Wee Man gets attacked by a smaller.
I love how
I don't know if it's on purpose or if it was just a happy accident.
I'm sure it was on purpose.
I don't know how they did it though.
But the fact that all of them were able to run fast enough to escape.
Even Wee Man, you know, he moves.
Preston. I felt bad for him.
You'd be surprised how fast you can run when you need to.
But the best part of that is the slow motion of all their faces in terror.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just like you don't know what they're running from, and then all of a sudden they go to behind them, and it's the bulls, and you're like, oh!
Again. The magic trick from this most recent one, this is the one where Knoxville gets hit by the bull, and it is... Yeah, it is one of his worst. He does a lot of bull stuff. See what I did there? Oh, this one I can't watch either.
This one I can't watch either.
How to Milk a Horse. In Jackass number 2, and we're gonna.
I distinctly remember gagging in the movie theater watching that.
Yeah, that one was rough. Ironically, we had a better time with the pig this last movie.
Well, fun fact. So we're getting to the theater, and Paul's like, "Snacks," and I'm like, "I don't know if I want to eat during this movie." And then I thought about, you know what? I'll be done with my food before the movie even starts.
Yeah, we went to an AMC, so there was 14 trailers.
That's true.
Yeah,
I was done like before the last trailer. Paul made it to a. You finished your popcorn.
I finished my popcorn,
but you were struggling there for a little bit. Because the beehive scene came on while you were still eating.
Yeah, it did. We have the cup test from Jackass Forever. Oh, we talked about it. It is our most painful. Oh.
That's Paul's favorite.
The porta potty or
Poo Cocktail Supreme.
Where Steve-O's
that was the big one from the third movie.
Yeah. Well, I think it was like the second to last one too, like the biggest.
But it was the one in the trailer. They promoted the heck out of that one.
Oh God, paper cuts from the original Jackass the movie where they're putting paper cuts on Steve-O's tongue. I can't. Silence of the Lambs, we mentioned it, is probably one of our favorite stunts from all of these now at this point. It's just too funny.
Just really good.
Hotel Gorilla, this one's pretty fun. I really miss Bam Margera and his parents. They were a lot of fun because, again, they were the butt of a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
And this one, you know, Bam dresses up as a gorilla and, like, invades their hotel room while they're sleeping or something like that. It's really funny. Let's see. We have the giant shopping cart. It's iconic. It's like I think it's the opening scene from the first movie.
I think so.
And, you know, it set the tone for the movie and how different this was going to be. The golf course air horn, you can't, like, it's so simple, so annoying. You know, it's like watching Happy Gilmore over and over again. But basically, they're just at a golf course just hitting an air horn every time somebody tries to swing. It's perfect. Rent-A-Car Crash-Up Derby from the first movie. Yeah, a lot of these are exactly what they sound like. Number 5, Department Store Boxing from Jackass the movie, where knocked out by boxer Butterbean. Huh. Hardware Store Crap from Jackass the movie. They reenacted this in this new movie, where basically he goes and he uses the bathroom in a hardware store. But in this one, they have the toilet actually explode. He was wearing the same outfit too, which is even funnier. Number 3, the high five. This one, again, simple, effective. Basically, they set up a giant hand on a... We didn't even talk about the high five in this movie with Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, that's right.
Or the cold brew thing.
Yeah, it was all right. It was
funny.
All right.
Watching him get like...
Oh, he got
wailed.
Apparently, I guess the pool was like freezing.
Yeah. But so basically, Johnny Knoxville is holding this giant hand on a device. People walk down the hallway. Wee Man says, "Hey, high five!" And they all fall for it. Some of them are like holding food and like coffee. Yeah, it's. Now number 2 is one of my favorites. It's the Terror Taxi.
With Jay Chandra Seekar from Super Troopers.
Well done. But basically, Jay plays a taxi driver who they think they're pranking because who's dressed
Aaron.
up? Aaron's dressed up, and this one's gross. They shave their pubic hair off to make a beard for him, and he doesn't know that. But anyway, so he's wearing this culturally very offensive, stereotypical getup, and he tries to scare the taxi guy. The taxi guy pulls Jay pulls out a gun and puts him in the trunk, and they drive him around, and like he's like, "I'm gonna blow you up," because he got this fake bomb too. Like it's hilarious, and just again, the stunts are the best is when there's like a stunt inside the stunt, and then Sean's personal favorite, the butt X-ray, where he puts an actual car.
Yep.
A small car, just so we're clear, like a Matchbox, a Hot Wheels.
A Hot Wheel.
So those are top 20. Some of our favorite stunts. Some not on that list that I wanted to mention. The Beehive Limo. That's a funny one.
That one was a good one. That one was good.
The Riot Shotgun.
That one's painful to watch.
Electric Avenue.
Which one was that?
Where they set up the tasers and the hanging tasers. They got to run down the hallway, and they play Electric Avenue. And one of my personal favorites, Medicine Ball Dodgeball. Anything in the dark is terrifying. But that pretty much brings us to the end of our Jackass episode.
Oh, what a shame.
I know, but you know what? In all honesty, this episode is very much like Jackass Forever. Short, to the point, and we giggled way too much during it.
We did. I still think the second one is the best.
I would not argue that.
Yeah.
But again, like, as far as these movies go, if you were to rank them, they're pretty close to each other.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say it'd probably go 2, 4, 3, 1 for me.
Probably.
Mostly because I haven't seen one, so I can't really put it anywhere.
It's been a while since I've seen one.
Yeah, 4 was just, this previous one was just such a pleasant surprise, and we're glad we went to go see it.
Yeah.
It was that or Uncharted. We're going to try and get to our Uncharted as well, too. But we would love
Try is a keyword there.
Try is a keyword. But we would love to hear from you guys about it. You can check out our Facebook, The Cinematic Adventures. You can also check us out on Podbean. That's cinematicadventures.podbean.com. You can also find us at themisfitfaction.com. There you'll find links to our store, to our reviews, to our episodes, to our other shows, the Multiverse Fancast and MF Uncensored. You can also find us on Instagram at Misfit Faction Media Network, or on YouTube, Misfit Faction Media Network, or on Twitter at Misfit Faction. There is no Fan Feedback Friday today because, unfortunately, we had to record a little bit earlier just because we have a very busy weekend. So if you guys hear this, make sure you ask Ronnie how his weekend was, if he's able to talk by the end of it. But I think that pretty much...
It's up to us. That'll be a no.
That'll be solid no. I hope he took Monday off. I'm going to destroy his liver. His liver is going to be like the result of a Jackass prank at this point. Like, that's how bad it's going to be. But I think that pretty much wraps us up.
You think?
I think so. Do you have anything else to say?
No, I just like to ask if you think.
I do think every once in a while.
Well, it's good. It's good. It's good to think.
One time I hurt myself. But anyway,
Yeah.
That's going to wrap us up. As always, I'm Paul.
I'm Sean.
And we'll be back next week.
Adios.
I don't know. You know French?
What?